I want to welcome our audience to this L.E.A.R.N podcast. It is in these podcasts that L.E.A.R.N wants you to meet experts that can help you in your work as school leaders or perhaps partners in the education landscape. The topic for this podcast is health and safety with a special focus on wellness for students and adults, and our guest is Magda Hernandez, Superintendent of Schools for Irving ISD in Irving, Texas. On the L.E.A.R.N website, you will find on the research page under the COE of Health and the COE of Safety, research in this area being discussed along with potential resources to access. Magda, I want to welcome you to the L.E.A.R.N podcast. It's really good to have you here as a friend, but more importantly, to speak about this important topic. And before we begin, I have to congratulate you and acknowledge the great honor that you have of having this building named after you. And it's called, you told me, Mahi, which is really special. And you're going to explain why here in a second. The Magda A. Hernandez Institute of Wellness and Professional Learning. Magda, would you tell us a little bit about the significance of this name?
Oh, Dave, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to see you. We've been longtime friends and worked, as superintendent leading together. Yeah. So just a pleasure and excited to be here just to speak about the importance, of wellness and investing in it for our staff and our students. But yes, I actually did share recently about the naming of this building, which, but you and I both know that we don't go into these roles, for to have a building named after us, right? But the board saw the vision behind it. So the name was inspired, obviously, with my name. And it just so happened that the initials, were able to spell out Mahi, and as I started doing the research behind it, Mahi derives from Hawaii, right? And it's earth. So this building will be right in the center of an outdoor learning center, yes. Actually right in the hub of that. So it's like, okay, it goes well with it. And then also, I'm like, well, there's a fish named Mahi. Let me see what that means. And you and I both know, leading through COVID, how we were going through the currents, and the Mahi fish is known as that, a fish that's able to fish through the currents, but able to leap, right. over the currents and continue to swim, So I'm like, okay, it all came together. And as the staff, and our community hears the name and just the concept of it, and they hear the Mahi, we're going to the Mahi building, it actually starting to resonate with them. And they are saying, we feel like going to a spa, or something like that. Because, Hawaii, I see it, it's a place of Zen, relaxation. Right. And that's really, the vision behind this building. We wanted to just have a very comprehensive action plan for our employees and fostering that lifelong learning and wellness within our community. We know we saw it through COVID. I think all of that was already there, but COVID just amplified it.
Right.
So just very excited that this vision that I think we've had for many years is now becoming a reality, that we get to do that for our staff and then turn for our students.
That's wonderful. And it's just such a beautiful name, and what a great honor for you. And I know it's a unique concept. Professional learning is not unique, obviously, to districts, but what you've done is pretty unique in terms of how it works. And so if you would you'd had to have done a lot of research around this, right? If you wouldn't mind sharing just a little bit of what that research taught you as you thought about designing a wellness center and specifically designing it for Irving ISD, could you just speak to that, about the various things that you had to think about in this design process?
I think it wasn't that difficult, Dave, because most of my administration experience was in human resources. So I remember I was always very passionate about the whole well-being of our educators. And even way before COVID, we had already implemented, I had hired a coordinator to oversee the wellness piece. I was, I said, we need to support our teachers, not just emotionally, mentally, physically, but financial, also financially, as especially right now. The inflation is is awful, for our teachers. So we have always been very interested in supporting the whole, of our teacher. It's like if we take care of our teachers, they take care of our students. So we were already working on that emotional health and financial, nutritional, and physical aspect of all our employees. So then when we were right in the middle of COVID, I started reading and doing the research on just mental health because we kept hearing it. So I read a lot on, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Daniel Amen, who does a lot of research on brain and into mental health. So I even had a group of people that will be housed at the Mahi building do a book study, on that. So way before even this building came to, fruition, we were doing the work. And it was easy because then I was also invited to be part of the advisory of the YMCA advisory, mental health advisory board, which is, I have the pleasure of being surrounded with experts in the mental health. The chief of psychiatry from Parkland is part of it, and so many other psychiatrists that just in conversations, in learning from them, they share, that most of their time is spent with the adults. So it's like, oh my goodness, so we're headed in the right, direction. So, so all of that, inspired this, this concept of our building, because we had that amazing opportunity, 2.5 years ago. My CFO said, hey, we have $10 million in TIP funds. That we can only use that in infrastructure. And I believe you and I had that conversation. Well, where did this money come from? And we could only use it. And it just so happened, there was in the north, right in the middle of our outdoor learning center. So, and thinking, I'm like, well, what can we do? I wanted to make a good use of it. And I'm like, well, let's invest for our, in our teachers, in our community, in our adult education, because we already have an adult education here in Irving. So, so all of them would be housed over there. So it's like, it makes sense. So, once we, started talking more about it, I'm like, okay, it's doable. It can be. The board was all for it, and we put it out, for bid, and that's how it began. All right, it's just exciting.
I can see it on your face. You're very excited, and the opening of this facility is to be soon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When do you anticipate it will open?
It will be open for this coming school year. So right. Architects believe that it will be completely done by the end of July. So super excited. So you'll be invited to the ribbon cutting.
Sure. I want to be there. I really want to see it. I've seen little snapshots because I know your architect well, but I've seen little snapshots, and I really want to see this building. Now, as you thought about the building and you're working with your architects as you go about this process, what were some of the elements from a design perspective that were important to you that you wanted to see incorporated into this building?
What I love about our architects, WRA, and I'll mention them because they have been not just the architects, but they have truly, truly been a partner. They listen, to just as I was having conversations with them about the vision and what I wanted to see, you could just see them writing down everything. I wanted, and actually they were a great thought partner in developing this. Because as, architects, they come and they see the land, the space, and we were playing, with different areas right around the location where we wanted it. And then they started seeing, hey, what if it's placed here? So they also helped us, with that whole visioning. And so then after that, it just grew. I said, great, because then they'll be able to connect with the nature because of the outdoor learning center. With this building being over there, then we would provide opportunities for our students to even go and participate. So what was very important for us, they worked with us that every space in the building is very intentional. So it doesn't matter where we will be in that center, they're going to have opportunity for exploration. Like they will be able to see, because it's in nature. So they'll see birds. They'll see different types of animals that will show up, in the window. Lots of windows. So them just to see the natural light, the rooftop. So they're able to see, just everything. The golf course, is there. I think whenever we work with architects, it's important that we do see them as a partner, and they are always just, taking notes. And, when they went through the charrettes, with everyone, listening to everyone's, conversation, and okay, this is what we like, this is what we don't want. So it was very important for us to hire the right architect for it, because not only that, but they were so excited because this is one of a kind building. So they saw it as an opportunity, like, wow, we've never had a building such as this one. So they had groups of their employees working on this because they were so excited about what it can be and what it will be. And now that they're, on the finishing touches, you can see, Dave, just as I do walkthroughs of the building, they're so committed and even as excited as we are. So for us, it's important to partner with great architect firms that are willing to listen and to the vision and make it even better than what we want.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what excites me about L.E.A.R.N and our organization. It was inspired by architects, actually, and it was all about how do we get research into the hands of superintendents and then create the right kind of relationships and collaboration that lead superintendents to do amazing things like you're doing. And of course, one of those architect firms is WRA, another is PBK, another is White out of Illinois. These architect firms are really partners. And when they partner well, they hear you and they push you a little. They give you insights you wouldn't have thought about. It's very exciting. And like I said, I can't wait to see your facility. And I know how important they were in helping you get to that design space. Now, what was your communication like, building a wellness center? And you've acknowledged there were some dollars that were almost external somewhat to the district that you were allowed to spend on this. But you still had to get the community to see the value of this. What did the communication that look like, both internal and external, for you?
Well, I have to be very honest. It was challenging because, especially right now, what we're dealing with in education. So they're like, oh, okay, but they're spending this much money. Why don't we just get it for a raise? Right. Yeah. When it's different dollars, we cannot use it for that. So we had to explain it and we had to talk. So, I made sure that I communicated during convocation where everyone was there, and really educate them. It took educating as to why we cannot use this money, for salaries. We can only use it for infrastructure. And pushing out, we continuously push out the wellness piece. So everything that we are offering them right now, it's like, okay, this matters. And I think with that, started really getting people excited about it. We still have some that we still hear, the talk, sure. But it's okay because then we have other teachers from other, like the high school especially, who have now created their own wellness, hubs, in their buildings. And just recently, one came to a board meeting. She was being recognized, and she mentioned, that she runs the hub, and she goes, and I cannot wait until the professional, the Magda Hernandez wellness building opens up. So I think the excitement now that they're seeing it come to life, to get a little bit more excited about it because we continue to invest. We're not waiting on this building to open up to do it. We're already doing a lot of this wellness and support for them, whether it's through counseling, professional counseling, or activities, free memberships, to yoga. So, and now once this building opens, the plan is to have social hours for all our campuses to come and get to see and experience what we're going to be offering for them. And I think once they step foot in that building, my hope is that they will see this is why she believed in this. This is why she's doing it. And really, because sometimes, they don't see it until they don't see the vision until they're in it and they get to experience. And that's my hope, Dave. It's like, I hope that once they get to experience it, they will see, okay, now we get her vision. Now we know why she wanted this. I know from the student perspective, they were, very excited when they were part of the charrettes and asked, are we going to be able to be, to take part on this? Absolutely. So being creative in ways to ensure that they can also partake, in the activities and the opportunities that we have for them. So again, communication will be huge moving forward once it opens, but the plan is to have ongoing social hours, and not only for that, but also for building relationships across the district. That's always been a goal of mine too. That, we tend to work in our little campuses and we don't know people. And, I'm a relationship builder. I love building relationships with people. So we hope that this building will also do that and bring the community together.
It's fascinating through your communication. You've obviously, exuded your passion for this work and for the people. And now what you're telling me is people are now owning that themselves and building their own kind of wellness opportunities. And you, Magda, don't have to own all that.
No.
Now your people can own it. And that's probably the most powerful gift you can have as a superintendent, is to know people own something that is uniquely theirs, but attached to your vision. So congratulations on that. Now, how do you think this work is going to really impact your schools or your organization, your community? How do you think that's going to happen?
Again, going along with my vision, I think it's, I can only hope, that it truly changes our community, the way they see just their overall wellness. Another, exciting thing that I can probably share now at this time is the blue zones. Have you heard of the blue zones?
No, I have not.
That's another part of research. If you have not, watch the documentary on blue zones on Netflix. I was very intrigued with that and so excited again for this building, because what the blue zones they do is they help communities, right, with permanent or semi-permanent life long changes to live better and live longer.
Oh, nice.
So what we are doing, because I am part of this mental health advisory, but also the local hospitals, one in particular is partnering with us and is putting a big chunk of money to start the assessment to start our Blue Zone hub there.
Oh, nice.
For this building. So my hope is that it just has the whole community thinking better, thinking, how can I work on my mental health? How can I work on my physical health, financial, whatever the case might be? We're just starting to eat healthier, spend more time with family, because that's what the Blue Zones does. They talk about how important it is to engage in conversations with people, and the happier you are, you live longer. Right. So it kind of distresses people. So this place will be a place for even our parents to come and enjoy it. And as they start seeing, I think, that concept of why we have to do certain things, why we have to move, why we have to have activities, why we have to eat healthier, that we will make a difference, and we'll start spreading it across, not just in Irving ISD, but all of the city of Irving. So,
that's pretty special. A word that's coming to mind as you're talking is joy and connectedness, right? So, and joy and connectedness are attached at the hip, if you will. if you're not connected, you can't experience full joy. And so getting people to be in a place of wellness, and both in terms of health, mental health, and I would argue even spiritual health, puts them in a position of joy, and that brings a completeness to life. And that's what we want for our people, right? That's what you want for your teachers, but you want for your community as well. And,
right.
and I love the connectedness you're trying to bring to both students and staff as well as community. You should be really proud of this. Now, Magda, if other districts wanted to explore this and have more conversation with you around this, how would they go about contacting you and arranging for a deeper conversation?
Well, I would love for them, they can either contact me directly at mhernandez@irvingisd.net, or my chief of staff, who works very closely with me in this too. Her name is Dorian Galindo, so they can reach her at dgalindo@irvingisd.net. And we'll be happy to sit down and, again, even do tours when our building is open, for sure. Even have meetings there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Magda, and really thank you for being a part of the important work of supporting our students in schools, and thank you for participation in this L.E.A.R.N podcast.
Thanks for the invite.